The NFL draft is now complete, and now it's time to rank the rookies for your Dynasty rookie drafts. Just in case you are on the clock right now for many leagues, the drafts are starting. So you need something to base your drafts on, and I got it for you. We're going to rank these guys into some different tiers today. You'll see it once we get it started, but before you dig in, you need to click that subscribe button right now. We're going to have more rankings. We're going to rank by position. We're going to rank again overall as the dust settles some more. We're going to go over the UDFAs, winners, losers. We're going to go over the interviews. You know I'm going to always be here. You need to click that button. Stop missing out on this free information. But here it is, the tier maker. We're going old school tier maker. And like I said in the last video when we ranked running backs, is we're going back to old school, just sliding guys in and just keeping things primitive. And what I got below me is almost the entire draft. I slowed down once I got to the 7th round because I did not know if all these players were going to load up in here. It's a lot of files. So if something's missing, blame this website. But I'm going to rank them by 1st round, 2nd round, 3rd round. So there's going to be more players than what's worth it in a 1st round. But it's open-minded, outside-the-box thinking, being creative. If you said, like, hey, I drafted X player in the 1st round, and I thought about it, and I wouldn't think twice at you, even though I thought it was a little bit of a reach, I'm probably going to put them in there, and then I'm going to shake them up inside the tier. That's how we're going to start things off. Things are not, they are not organized behind me. This is a random mess with a lot of players in it. But let's get this started. And we're doing this for Superflex, but we're also talking 1 QB. So we're just going to talk about the context. First player, 1st round, Ashton Jeanty. I see him right down there. Bonafide 1st round talent, 101 in 90% of leagues. Superflex, it's between him and Cam Ward. And really depends on how your league values quarterback, how you value quarterback, how you look at quarterback in your league. If it's one of those leagues where you're looking at quarterbacks and it's like pulling teeth, you might go Cam Ward over Ashton Jeanty because the quarterback position scores like a top tier running back anyways, and you may roll with that. However, most of you guys are going to go Ashton Jeanty. Honestly, if you just want my preference, then I'd probably go Jeanty, then Ward. But again, if you tail, you fail. Do not always tail. Think outside the box. And I'm here to help you bounce ideas off yourself. But next coming up, next player in the same area, American Hampton. 1 QB, it's like this. Cam Ward's somewhere around here. American Hampton right after Ashton Jeanty. Running back going to the Chargers. Not worried about Najee Harris at all. Not worried about him at all. Not at all. I think he's easy, locked in. 102 right now. 1st round running back. He's going to get the opportunity. He's going to get the workload. And this is a good offense to be in. For sure, this is a very good offense to be in. Now, coming up here with the next batch of players, it's really how you want to pick. It's really who you want. Whoever you want coming off the board. I'm going to throw up T-Mac right now. T-Mac going to the Panthers, paired with Bryce Young. And there's some people looking to draft T-Mac or Tyler Hunter at the top of the 1st round or middle of the 1st round so they can get that wide receiver. And if you're in that boat, cool. If you're not in that boat to get one of these 2 wide receivers, T-Mac or Travis Hunter, then you're looking at Quinshon Judkins. Quinshon Judkins right here, stud running back prospect, got drafted early in the 2nd round. The Browns told us that they're going to run the football. They drafted 2 running backs of consequence. And Quinshon Judkins is the Browns' new Nick Chubb. That's what he is. He's their new Nick Chubb. So we're throwing him up here. And honestly, if you ask my opinion, I'm slamming running back unless I want to divert. I think we might get a few years down the road and wonder why we did not draft Travis Hunter here. That could potentially happen. But he's also would be or could be or should be the wide receiver 2 in his offense. However, that's something to look at. On top of that, other players to be mixed in here. Caleb Johnson going to the Steelers. I mean, you look at that backfield. He's better than Jaylen Warren already. He's going to get a lot of touches. He's going to have a lot of upside. And it really depends. Really depends here. Really depends. He's still up in this range, even though he went to the 3rd round. He's a running back. He's in a position to get a lot of touches. I think you're going to get more than what they got out of James Conner back in the day. I think you're going to be relatively safe at the running back position when you're looking at him. Going down here, and I'm looking at the players that are close in this range because everything's jumbled up. Next player is Matty Gold. Matty Gold. Matthew Golden, if you want the real name. However, when I'm thinking about Matthew Golden, when I'm looking at him, he's in a good area where he's going to be a late 1st rounder, possibly early 2nd round pick, and that's fine. That's fine. But the fact is, we got a 1st round wide receiver with 4.2 speed, playing with a good quarterback. I look for him to be in the back end of that 1st round, early 2nd round. Going down here, our next wide receiver coming up, Emeka Egbuka. When I think about Emeka Egbuka, there's a lot of competition in this offense. He's a player that if I'm going running back over, then I'm going to try and buy him a little bit cheaper in season. That's what I'm doing. But I look for him to be in the back of the 1st round. I just look for that to happen. I look for that to be a steady price. Another player, Colston Loveland, especially if it's tight end premium. If it's tight end premium, he's moving on up a bit. Really depends on what you're doing in your league. But first tight end off the board, we're paired with Caleb Williams. This is a rejuvenated offensive line. We're younger than Tyler Warren. We're the best pass-catching tight end in the draft. The Bears thought so too. This is a great situation. We're already better than Cole Kmet. Colston Loveland, come on down. And we're probably going to be like right around here. But I don't chase tight ends. I like to buy them later. However, I think he's going to do something early. Tyler Warren is a tight end prospect who's going to an ambiguous situation here with the Colts. Tight end premium. He's a 1st round player that could go in the 1st round of your rookie draft. However, when you're looking at this completely, you're looking at a tight end here that might have a slow start to his NFL career. And if that happens, you're looking at a tight end that you might be able to buy on the cheap later on down the road. I'm looking at upside here, Matthew Golden, Emeka Egbuka. However, I do have Colston Loveland lockstep ahead of him for sure. And if you're playing super flex, you're looking at quarterbacks. I don't know, but he is a 1st round quarterback. I would look at him early 2nd, late 1st round Jackson Dart, due to him being a 1st round quarterback, due to him having Malik Neighbors, but I'm not pressing it either. Like, I'd rather go with Caleb Johnson. I'd rather take my shots here. But super flex, if your league's pulling teeth there, it's okay. It's okay if you do. Looking down here for other players, I'm going to start looking at the 2nd round until I'm done with this guy right here, Hendo. Hendo going to the Patriots. I think that's a great spot for him. I think this offense is building. He's going to be used in the passing game big time. This is a running back prospect that has a lot of opportunity, and he's a running back prospect that could really develop into something nice. I really like him. I think there's a lot of upside with him. He's got speed to burn. We're going to start looking at the 2nd round here. I got 1st rounders still down here. You got to understand, below me is a massive file of players. And I got a 2nd rounder that I really like here with Luther Burden. And I think he's a mix of 1st round, back in 1st round, 2nd round. I think most of you guys are going to draft him back here in the early 2nd round. I think that's where he's going to be. And if you told me you got him in the 1st round to go with what I said earlier, cool. That's with the context. But Luther Burden, drafted to the Bears, I think he's a great fit there. And the Bears had to make that move. They just had to make that move. They had to get it done. Because that was a hell of a talent, a 1st round talent out wide receiver. They're trying to make things smoothed out for Caleb Williams. They had to get that one done for him. But for fantasy, there's a lot of upside here. You got a rejuvenated offensive line. Eventually, DJ Moore's going to be 30 years old. I'm sure you know you got Rome Odunze there. But Luther Burden could step in and be the guy. He could be the guy. But again, this is a player that you could buy on the cheap in season 2. RJ Harvey, back into the first round. My first round tier is getting kind of thick. However, things are getting kind of thick. I could draft him in the first round. I can draft him in the early second with Luther Burden. RJ Harvey is one of my guys. I think this is a backfield where we can take over. I think there's good possibility for that. We're a second-round running back. Second-round running backs can go in the first round. And if you want them ahead of some of these wide receivers, then go ahead. So I'm going to put him in there. I'm going to put him in here. My tiers are getting stretched out a little bit. So I'm going to have him in the first round. No way I'm drafting him ahead of Caleb Johnson. But I'm kind of like in the mist here with the other wide receivers. So I'm just going to have him just hang out there. But if you're in the mix for a Matty Gold or a Tyler Warren, go ahead and make that move. Another second round selection that I'm going to be looking at here is Cam Scatterbo. 4th round draft pick. This is a player that has potential to take over the backfield here in New York. Also be a mainstay in this backfield. Has a lot of upside here. Is a player that a lot of drafters are going to be drafting. Trey Harris going to the Chargers. Ladd McConkey's the guy. He's going to get over a 20+% target share. I don't think we all love Quentin Johnston. I think we have the potential to take over that Josh Palmer role. We're going to use 3 wide receiver sets about 65, 70, 75% of the time. We're going to be out there. We're going to be getting opportunities. Jaden Higgins. Jaden Higgins is in a good situation here where we should be getting drafted pretty high. If you're looking for a wide receiver, this is somebody to pitch your tent to, somebody to look at, because we do have a lot of upside in this offense. It's going to be the Nico Collins show. However, we've seen injuries in this offense before. We don't want to see him again. This is a guy that's going to be out there on the field. He's going to be on the outside. He's going to take over those other jabroni wide receivers. I like Jaden Higgins. I like the flow of this offense, how they're being built. Filling other positions in here sporadically here on the chessboard, considering what I'm looking at here. I'm looking at Jack Betch. I have him graded more of a 3rd rounder, and as we're looking at how many players are coming off the board here, that's where you're going to be getting him. I have other players in the 1st round that's more likely 2nd round selections here. Tyler Warren and Mika Buka that could be falling that way. But if you said you drafted them in the 1st round due to where they were drafted, then that's cool. But also Kyle Williams, early 3rd round, late 2nd round, or going to the Patriots. But there's some competition there. But we're good in the slot. We're twitched up. But after the running backs start coming off the board, that is something you're not want to be interested in. Isaac Tesla to the Detroit Lions. I'm going to put him in the not now category, as in we'll pay attention to him, but we ain't drafting him today. Pat Bryant right now is a flyer I like. So right now when the players start coming off the board and I have a good feeling like everything I like is gone and I want to go after a flyer, 3rd round, 4th round, I'll be looking at Pat Bryant. Jalen Knoll is always open. We're going to the Texans. The thing is, this depth chart is thick at wide receiver. You got Jaden Higgins there playing on the outside. But if you told me you drafted him in the 2nd round and you liked him over Higgins, I wouldn't look at you twice. If you said the same thing about Kyle Williams, I understand. I think I'm going to put him on the edge of round 3 due to the draft capital being outside of the top 50 range, and they also told us they liked Higgins more than Knoll, but both of them could be playing a major role in this offense. Basil Tootin, 2nd round selection here. After RJ Harvey for sure, after Cam Scatterbo, but Basil Tootin is one of those guys I'm going after. If you told me you got him in the back end of the 1st round, I would completely understand. I would completely understand that speed. Jacksonville offense. Woody Marks, same thing. Same thing. Back in somewhere middle of that 2nd round. The Joe Mixon replacement. If I had Joe Mixon, I'd be looking at Woody Marks. Now looking at the Browns here and considering they're the Browns and considering they drafted Quinshon Judkins, I think Dylan Sampson is going to get faded a bit, and I'm looking at him for round 3. And I think round 3 range back in the round 2 range is fine for him in Dynasty Fantasy Football. I think he will get opportunity. I think Judkins is going to steal his lunch, though, but they got 2 damn good running back prospects. Another flyer I don't like is Savion Williams. I'm throwing him in the not now category because I'm not interested in him whatsoever, not even pre-draft process. Another player is Ty Felton. He's got speed to burn, but it's the Justin Jefferson show. Also Jordan Addison show, and I'm just going to throw him right there and forget about it. Alec Ayomanor is a flyer alike. I'll take him around the 4th roundish range. This depth chart's completely open. If you took him in the 3rd round in the back end, cool. I am going to consider him a flyer, though. I'm going to put him in that range of the draft due to how far it fell. I'm not chasing 4th round wide receivers. But also, when you're looking at the depth chart here for the Titans, it's open. It's wide open. LeJohntay Wester going to the Ravens is a flyer I like for a deep stash, round 5-ish range. I'm throwing him in there. Flyer I like 4th round, 5th round, 6th round, 5th round, 6th round range. UDFA range in your leagues. That's what I'm looking at. If you're looking for a 3rd round flyer to look at here or a late 2nd round, I'm going to throw him here in the late 2nd round, Jarquez Hunter, because he might have some opportunity to compete on the Rams depth chart, and that could allow him to emerge behind Blake Corum or with Blake Corum if something happens to Kyren Williams. Khalil Mullings is a flyer I like. They have 2 running backs on the roster right now. If injuries hit, this could be a running back that emerges getting you some production, and I could definitely see that happening. Khalil Mullings is a late round flyer that could do something. He's good between the tackles. He's got good vision. I'm looking at Jimmy Horn Jr. going to the Panthers. There's a lot going on there. Not now for me. Not now for me. Torrey Horton going to Seattle. He's a flyer, but not a flyer I like, and a flyer I'm not going after in the later rounds. Round 5's too late for my range, and I'm just going to watch him from afar. Trevor Etienne going to the Panthers. We got 2 good running backs in front of him. 3rd round range, potentially. To me, he's more like a flyer I like, because you're going to have to be waiting for a bit, and it's not a prospect profile I'm in love with. It's like in the same boat as Mullings right now. DJ Giddens, I would bump him up to 3rd round range due to Jonathan Taylor's injury history. Due to what we saw in his prospect profile, due to how twitched up he is, I think DJ Giddens is a running back prospect you can really draft 3rd round, 4th round range and feel alright about it. Devin Neal's going to be a flyer I like. Went really late in the draft. Going to have to climb the depth chart, but is a guy I'm drafting 3rd round, 4th round range. Above the wide receivers, just going to split ties with that one. Terrence Ferguson is a tight end prospect I like. Catches the ball well. A good receiving threat. Good athleticism. If you're looking for tight end around the 2nd round range, 3rd round range, there's a guy to look at. And also, he's got the draft capital. We got Matthew Stafford. We're looking at tight ends for this dude. Jordan James is a flyer I like due to being at the running back position. 49ers being very ambiguous. That's something to pay attention to. Taj Brooks is a running back I really like. I will jolt him up to the 3rd round, into that 3rd round range. We got Evans there. We've seen running backs turn over there before. It's a high-powered offense. We could definitely see him jump the line. Jalen Lane going to the Washington Commanders, round 4. Not chasing round 4 wide receivers and not a strong prospect profile. Not now. I think the Titans made a bad pick drafting Dyke in the 4th round at 103. Not a player I'm chasing right now. Dante Thorman, same thing here with the Raiders. I'm not chasing him right now. Jordan Watkins, I'm not chasing him right now. I'm going to the 49ers. Not a player I'm going after. Arian Smith, he's not getting enough targets in this offense to really matter. We're watching him from afar. Jalen Royals is a flyer I like. And if you're really chasing wide receivers in good situations, I understand. He's either high in 3rd round range, he's either high in flyer range, or in the 3rd round range. I'm going to put him, because he's not too far off from Jack Betch, I'm going to put him in the back end of the 3rd round range due to the Chiefs offense and due to me liking his prospect profile. Ollie Gordon is a flyer I like in the 4th round range, round 6, backed up in that depth chart, but I think he can carve out a role. Jaden Blue's also a flyer I like, getting drafted in the 5th round, but he's kind of back there with the running backs. He's not got the strongest prospect profile. Harold Fanning is in that 3rd round range. I'm actually chasing him. Njoku's there, but he's cheap talent at the tight end spot that I can go after in this year's draft. Gunnar Helm, I think he can carve out a role, but he's a flyer I'm paying attention to. But honestly, I'm not drafting now. I'm not drafting him now. Lambert going to the Chargers is a juicy spot. Too far down the board for my liking. Not a credible profile for me to go after. Mason Taylor going to the Jets early in the 2nd round. In that 2nd round range, somewhere around there in the back half of the 2nd round, I will look at him then. We're looking at Caleb Lohner to the Broncos. Not now. Not drafting him. Not a strong enough profile. We're looking at Luke Lashley, round 7 pick. I'll just watch from afar and pick him off waivers if he starts getting news. Looking at Elijah Arroyo, round 2 draft capital, twitched up athleticism. If you're looking for a tight end and tight end premium, up there with the Terrence Ferguson range, could really pay you some dividends. Oronde Gadsden of the Chargers is a flyer I liked. He's a round 5 guy. I think he's too rich for round 3. He could go in the back end of round 3 and be fine, but he is a flyer I like in this year's draft. Mitchell Evans going to the Panthers. I like what they already got there, so not for now. We're looking at 2 QB rankings, somewhere in the middle of the 2nd round if you're chasing that 2 QB chip, if you're looking for that value. But honestly, that's not a player I'm looking at. I'm looking at the running backs here in the 2nd round. That's what I'm really chasing. I like Jaden Higgins. I like some of these tight ends. I think they're great values. Dylan Gabriel's a 3rd round value in Superflex, maybe early 3rd round if you're chasing quarterback. Now we're looking at Thomas the Dome. Not right now. Now we're looking at Matavo going to the Saints. Not right now. Not looking at him right now in my drafts. Gavin Barthol to the Vikings, round 6 draft capital. Not right now. Now I'm looking at Jackson Halls to the Bills, tight end. I'm not drafting him. Not right now. I'm looking at Oates to Seattle. Not right now. I'm not drafting him. Too late in the game. I'm looking at Jalen Milroe. Jalen Milroe is an interesting piece because he's a developmental prospect that you're going to have to wait on. The wait might worth the 3rd round draft capital. The upside with the athleticism says 2nd round. Back in 2nd round, somewhere around there in super flex. 1 QB's down there. Shadur Sanders. I think the Browns are going to go quarterback next year. And I think they're just going to see what they got him in the training camp. If he comes out, balls out, does well, he's moving up. We're going to watch him from afar, but we're going to put him in the 3rd round for super flex range. Now we're looking at Will Howard, round 6. He's a flyer at the quarterback position considering we're with the Steelers. We're looking at Kyle McCord. We already got a quarterback there, so not right now. We'll watch him from afar. We're looking at Riley Leonard, and it's very ambiguous there with the Colts. We got 2 quarterbacks we don't like, so he's a flyer. So if you want to take him in the back end of your drafts, go ahead. Now we're looking at Brashard Smith. This is a flyer I like. I like him big time. He can actually go in the 3rd round, back in the 3rd round, early 4th round if you like him. That's if you like him. You can go that. Flyer I like just on that standard. Damian Martinez. Flyer I like. They got 2 running backs there, but he's a hell of a talent. He's probably going to work his way on the field in a couple years because they got contracts to look at running back position. Kyle Munagai. Flyer I like. 4th roundish. 4th roundish there with the Bears. And you're looking at that depth chart. It's open for him to do something. It's open for him to do something. You're looking at this board. It's crazy. Like I said, you're looking at a whole draft. Ricky White is a flyer I like. I just like his upside. I like his talent. This is a depth chart where we can compete at. We're looking at merit here. All running backs are flyers. But honestly, if I'm looking at things as a whole, not right now. LaQuint Allen is a flyer I like on the Jaguars. just because I like the talent, his ability to catch the ball out of the backfield. Now, I like Martinez better, Monagai better, Devin Neal better as a talent, Rashard Smith due to situation. I'm liking some of these other players better, but still. Phil Maffa going to the Cowboys, just because he's going to the Cowboys, just a flyer I like. Did not have the logo there, missed it on a few. Those are the rankings right now. This looks crazy, doesn't it? This looks crazy, but we got the entire draft ranked. I will have positional rankings starting tomorrow on the running backs and wide receivers. Be sure to click that subscribe button so you don't miss out. I want to thank you for watching, though. Catch you on the next video.